The coronavirus shutdowns have had an unintended benefit of drastically improving our air quality. Pollution monitoring satellites operated by NASA and the European Space Agency have observed drastic decreases in air pollution in countries all over the world while the quarantine has been in effect. The satellites measured concentrations of nitrogen dioxide, which is released by cars, power plants, and industrial facilities, and the difference is unmistakable. We now have one-to-one proof that the more humans are out and about being all sophisticated, the more that we are damaging the environment around us. Right? And it is what it is. To our environment, we as humans function a lot like a virus does. We insert ourselves into the environment, we take control of the environment, replicate, and we also bring harm to the planetary organism that we all actually live in when things get out of control. And in some ways, humans are actually more virus than viruses are. And if you think about it, it actually makes complete sense because humans are more virus than viruses are. We have over 300 trillion viruses in and on our bodies right now, you and me both. And this is just the normal state of things. You have over 300 trillion viruses in you right now. So some of these viruses are infecting your quote human cells, and some of these are even infecting your bacteria cells in your body, because viruses are immensely small, smaller than bacteria, and you can have hundreds or even thousands of virus particles inside of a bacteria. And so these are called bacteriophages, the type of viruses that infect your bacteria. But in addition to this, in this human virome, so we know about the microbiome, there's been a lot of talk about that, but it largely focuses on the bacteria cascade. But we are largely made up of viruses, to the degree that viruses actually take things to an entirely different level, because as they extracted things and looked at the entire human genome, as we talked about, it was discovered that humans are in fact over 8% virus. The human genome, the thing that makes us human, is 8% endogenous retroviruses that make us up, that make us human. If it wasn't for viruses, we would not be who we are today. And I'm talking like high levels of that statement, because I just read a recent study that affirmed that it was a symbiotic relationship with viruses that enabled us to actually evolve a placenta over many generations. So without viruses, we'd be laying eggs. We'd be laying eggs if it wasn't for viruses. Again, this goes back a long time. We're talking millions of years of evolution. But what about viruses? How do we know how long they can live? And what's so fascinating, the oldest virus discovered was about 30,000 years old. And this was discovered in Siberia. Whenever I think of Siberia, I think about that movie Spies Like Us, Chevy Chase, you know, the big fur coats. I don't know if they were in Siberia, but that's just kind of vibe I think about, all right? But it was discovered in Siberia and it was trapped in the permafrost, all right? So frozen virus discovered, 30,000 years old. And here's the crazy part. When they brought it back to the lab, this virus was still infecting cells. It was still able to infect cells. This virus is basically like Captain America, all right? Getting stuck in the ice, and when it's thawed out, it's still doing its thing, right? The resilience is remarkable, and it actually adds on to the human resilience because we evolve with viruses, and that symbiotic adaptation over time is what has made us who we are.